Hi there and welcome to another workout for you to row along to. Now today's row is going to be one of these nice low intensity, bottom tier, fitness building, calorie burning, all the best selling things, and even a dog likes it, rows that you can get out there, okay? Because what we're going to do is just a straight 30 minutes row. There's going to be no rest in it, but we're going to split it into 6-minute chunks. We're going to go 18 strokes a minute, then 20, then 22, then back down to 20 and back down to 18 again. So a nice stroke rate pyramid, and our pace is going to change with it. Now, you're going to start off around about 5 out of 10 intensity, which if you have a 2k training pace, it's right about 2k plus 20. Then as you go up to 20 strokes a minute, I want you to go 2 seconds faster, and then at 22 I want you to go 2 seconds faster still. And then as you come back down the other end of the pyramid for stroke rates, I want you to slow down those 2 seconds. Should make a lot of sense. Okay, so this is a great workout to put in between week 3 session 1 and week 3 session 3. That's what we are. So it's week 3 session 2 of the 1k plan. It gives you a little bit of spice, but it's also that kind of bottom tierish. Okay, so it's a good one to put in for the 1k, trust me. So before we get anywhere near that, we have to get into a 4-minute warm-up, and before we can even do that, we have to set up our machine. Now on a concept 2, that means getting your drag factor set properly first. If you know about drag factor, set it to round about 130, then adjust from there. If you kind of don't know anything about it, then just set your lever between 4 and 5. Okay, that's the simplest thing to do. Okay, too high is the problem, too low is not. Got those little white fairy things flying around. Next up, go to your monitor, and if you can, set it at eye height, so you don't have to look up, you don't have to look down. And finally, set those foot stretchers so that as you come to the front of the machine, your feet, or your shins, sorry, are in a nice vertical position. All right. Last thing to say is, if you're not in a concept 2, just set your intensity or resistance so you get a nice feel from the stroke, but it doesn't feel like you're having to heave against it. Right. I'm not entirely sure if I'm leaning slightly to the right tonight, so have to find out once I start rowing whether something else hurts. Maybe that's why I damaged my intercostal when trying to record session 1. Anyway, shall we get into this? Yes. 20 strokes a minute-ish, and I just want you to think about a push from your feet and connecting to the handle, and then you can increase the intensity after a minute, right? Here we go then, in 3, 2, 1, let's start. So, just think about it, it's almost like you're just standing up, okay? Say you're like holding a box and you're standing up. That's the amount of intensity I want you to put into the row for the time being. As you think about pushing your feet into the foot plates and trying to get your hands snapping into the flywheel or the water wheel at the same time. And that's how you get the power from your legs into the machine. It helps if you've got a forwards tilt and your arms are straight. And if you hold that forwards tilt and straight arms, that power from your legs just surges, accelerates into the machine. And so with this first minute gone, you can now think about surging a little bit more. Just push a little bit harder. Don't really want to go past 5 out of 10 effort though, or around about 2k plus 18 at 20 strokes a minute. Remember, it's a warm-up, not a very fast up. Now this 2k training pace thing is based on rowing a 2k time trial and dividing the resulting time by 4. That gives you your average pace to cover 500 meters. And that's your 2k training pace. So if you did it in 8:20, your 2k training pace would be 2:05. Right. 2 more strokes. Last one. Let's take 1 foot out, put it on the ground, continue rowing. So still think about a good push from the leg that's still strapped in. And I don't want you to change your technique too much just because you're rowing with only one leg. Still come forward so that your shin is vertical. Nice forwards tilt, straight arms. Last one here. Swap feet. Continue rowing. So straight arms, forwards tilt, and still take that full leg drive. Get your leg down Nice soft lock at the back. Push. Put that power in. 2 more. 1 more. And let's put both feet back in, legs straight, roll with your back and arms. So swing over your back, pull in your arms. Out with your arms, swing over your back. Simple. I say simple, I'm joking. This is one of the hardest things for people to get used to, is that feeling of getting the back and then arms. People want to pull with their arms first. 2 more strokes, 1 more. Let's roll to the front. I'll tighten my straps in the way. Straight arms, forwards tilt, and just press out from the front. Not too much power, because all I want you to do is concentrate on holding this forwards tilt and straight arms as you push with your legs. Okay, so push and hold that position. Push, hold. Okay. 1 more. And that's what allows you to push, then swing over your back, and then pull in with your arms. If you swing first, then you've lost that part. It's a simple order. Right, keep moving up and down the rail, have a quick drink. I'll explain one more time what we're doing today, and then we'll get into our main session. Okay then, so today's session is a nice, simple, low intensity with a tiny little bit of spice in the middle of it, because what we're going to do is a pyramid of stroke rates. We're going to go 18, 20, 22, 20, 18. And your pace is going to start right about 5 out of 10 intensity, which is around about 2k plus 20 for a 2k training pace point of view. Then you're going to go 2 seconds faster for the 20 strokes a minute. And then at 22, I want you to go 2 seconds faster still. And then of course you're going to slow down as you come back down that other end of the pyramid. So that middle section is going to be a little bit more intense than a typical, proper, full-on bottom tier low intensity workout. But that little rise is actually super cool. Okay, so let's get into this. So we're going to start off at 18 strokes a minute at 2k plus 20 pace. Just follow me for stroke rate, either on the video or on the podcast. You can just listen to the whoosh of my flywheel. Okay, just start my watch for the rope. Sunglasses on. You ready for this? Let's go then. In 3, 2, 1, and we're off. Right, so 18s can just take a little bit, just like 5 or 6 strokes to get the rhythm right, just because it is a lot slower than you may be used to. But remember, it's all still based on a powerful drive from the front, okay? So power out from the front and then take your time to recover. And it's a good thing about this stroke rate is it's like you can slow down and concentrate on how you recover. So you drive to the back, arms away, tilt forwards, knees. So your knees stay down while your arms come away from your body and your hips, or you tilt forwards over your hips. So I drive, knees are down, now I bend. Knees are down, now I bend. So what that means is that the slide itself is actually very similar in pace between drive and recovery. But there's a period as you are shifting the momentum from backwards to forwards again, where you're not sliding at all. This isn't to be confused with the drill where you hold the handle and then you return. It can be a useful drill, that one, if you want to analyze how you finish your stroke. If you want to take a second to think, how high am I finishing with the handle? All right, sternum height, good. Or how deep a layback am I finishing in, which actually, when I do this as a drill, I know I'm a lot deeper than if I'm just rowing normally. So already it's fake. Or you could concentrate on, are my knees down in a soft lock? Am I pointing my toes towards the front of the screw, the machine? Are my wrists flat? Yep, ish. But they are all part of a drill, but not how you should actually be rowing. So the danger is that if you pause, then in order to get back in time for 18 strokes a minute, I need to race towards the front of the machine. And actually, it's a lot of hard work doing that. Like bracing that hold at the back and then launching yourself forwards. Whereas if you can use your body's momentum to take you forwards by releasing the handle and tilting forwards over your hips, then all you have to do is bend your knees as you come, as your hands are past them and your hips have tilted forwards, and you'll effortlessly slide towards the front of the machine. Sorry, attacked by a fly there. It's a problem with doing these rows in the evening. You start to get the flies and the seeds flying in the air. Okay, so I've somehow managed to spend 5.5 minutes just talking about not pausing at the back of the stroke, and we're almost done with our first stroke rate. So in 5 strokes time, we're going to go up to 20s. So just push a little bit harder. You should go a tiny bit faster. So here we go. A little bit harder of a push gives you a faster drive phase. And then when you complement that with a slightly faster recovery phase, that should take your stroke rate up. And as a result of that extra power, whoa, she made me jump. I jumped out my skin then. It's like the gym I used to work out. I know I was saying, yeah, I kind of said how your pace and rate will go up. The gym I used to go to when I was working out of an edit suite instead of working from home, they had one of those big slam boxes. The thing's just like a box, but it's as heavy as a tractor tire. And the whole point is you flip it over. Very good training. But unfortunately, they had it behind the rowing machines and right next to. So basically 6 feet behind me, I'd be rowing, concentrating on something like this. And then there'd be an almighty wallop sound as someone flipped over this box. And I mean proper, like a gunshot going off. Crikey. I'd actually, a couple of times, I'd twang my lower back because of that sudden kind of scare I'd get. I just had that when the dog barked. Same thing happened. So hopefully you have hit your stroke rate and pace. In case you are being eagle-eyed on my metrics, you may have noticed I'm kind of, so every now and then, I'm hitting 2K plus 18 at 203, but I'm kind of closer to 204, 205 right now, because I actually started to record week 3, session 1 first. Got a tiny bit into it and felt my intercostal start to go. If there's one thing I've learnt, it's that my intercostals start to flare up. I need to stop doing what I'm doing. And so I decided to still go ahead and row and make today's session, but or make the next day's session. It's very confusing. But drop the intensity in order to protect myself from injury. And so far, all is good. So let's just hope it continues this way. And that nothing niggles. I don't want to get 15 minutes into this and then have to stop this one as well. That'll be disappointing. But the reason I'm talking about this is that I want you to be sensible, especially on the 1K plan, which involves some proper 100% effort sessions. That if you have any body niggles like I have, or if you feel like you've scraped the energy barrel, then either consider swapping to a bottom tier row if it's a top tier day, or just consider taking a day off. Take a rest day. Don't be a slave to your diary. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Let's push a little bit harder still. Let's do it again. Made me jump. Push a little bit harder still. It's like, it was exactly 6 minutes ago she barked at me last time. So when you push a little bit harder, that drive should be a little bit quicker than us being At these low rates, you want to be at a 2-to-1 ratio of drive to recovery, where your drive is twice as fast as your recovery. That means that when your drive goes faster, your recovery goes a little bit faster too. And that is how you get up to 22. So it's not about the same pace drive and then a quicker recovery. It's not about a much faster drive and a slower recovery. It's like a dance. Everything feeds into the next bit. So it's a rhythm. As your stroke rate goes up, that ratio gets closer to a 1-to-1. So like if I'm rowing at 30 strokes a minute, I'm closer to a 1-to-1 ratio. So 1 second drive, 1 second recover. But the key is still that you get the power in through the drive and that you try to have some kind of fluid motion through your stroke. And usually that comes from the hands. So that's why, as we started, I was talking about how you get your hands away and then rock over your hips. Because that in-out of your hands is where your rhythm comes from. And it's another reason why holding the handle stopped is something I don't recommend, because it disturbs the flow, the rhythm. So as long as you can get your hands away from your hip tilt done before you bend your knees, all is good. And really, if you're the kind of person who struggles with low rate rowing, then that's what to concentrate on, is the hands away and the forward tilt before the knee bend. That's what takes up recovery time. Or if you struggle with higher rates, then just think about your hands away, but you're not throwing it away, okay? There's no rhythm here. So just in and then release. It can take a moment for your arms to go straight. Okay, where are we? Do my maths. 13:12 to go, which means just over a minute. You should hopefully just have felt the intensity go up a tiny bit as you hit these 22s, but not so much that you feel you couldn't go on. Like, you shouldn't be here like desperate for the next 40 seconds to be over. to get to the slow down 20s, you should just be like, all right, I'm gonna start to ease off, but all is good. And it's a good way to recover, but also just by keeping a little bit of spice to the row. 2 more strokes. 1 more. And let's slow it down to 20. And ease off your pace by 2 seconds. So what you should find is that you just go a little bit softer with the legs. Not so soft that you fall off more than 2 seconds, but should still feel softer. But have a quick technique debrief while you've slowed down. As you come forwards, are you just sliding until your shins are vertical? You're not going past. You're not stopping short. You are at the right vertical stage to be able to push that power in to the machine. Your arms straight as you come forwards. Fingers hooked over the handle. And that's really important, because if you have a death grip on the handle, not only will you be unduly tense, and tension just wastes energy, not only are you risking blisters because of that tight grip and because your hands don't have any air circulating around them. Sorry, that would be one of those seeds. But you're also losing power and length. You're losing power because you don't have a solid line of power going into your hands and into the handle. But length, the difference between out and tight, around about an inch maybe. And trust me, you want all the length you can safely get from the front of the machine. If you have a sloppy connection, sorry to use the word sloppy, at the front of the machine, but try to make up for it by finishing like this, you're fooling yourself. If you can get good power from your legs, more connection from the front of the machine, you'll go a lot faster and, more importantly, efficiently faster by connecting a good amount of length from the front of the machine to a natural finish. Whereas if you miss the front of the machine and then finish high, not only are you losing all of that leg power that you could be putting into the machine. It's now all coming from my upper body, and because of that deep layback, it's a lot of hard work, and my lower back is really not enjoying this. So I'm going to go back to normal, putting in the same perceived push amount of effort into each stroke, and I've gone from 209 pace to 205, and it's a lot more comfortable. I could do this forever. Certainly couldn't do the other stroke forever, and that's because here, that's how much connection I'm getting from the handle and pushing with my feet. So I'm connected to the stroke from here to the back, here to here, and I don't have to finish up here. Okay, 2 more strokes, 1 more. That wasn't pleasant. Try and remember that right at this point it's when I swallow another seed. Try and mute my disgusting noises. Anyway, back down to 18s. When you get a chance to say that, hopefully you knew. And 2 seconds slower. Now I'm way off pace right now because I'm too busy trying to get that seed out from the back of my throat. Yuck. Well, maybe I should make a wish. I do hope whatever weed that was doesn't make a home for itself in my stomach or my lungs. Maybe it's just programs like Grey's Anatomy or House or whatever other medical drama is popular right now that have people with foliage growing in their lungs. Maybe that doesn't actually happen. But you know what? I'd still take the frustration of flies and seeds and still be able to be outside rowing in early September. It's a beautiful evening. I don't know how good it looks for you because the sun is setting kind of over there, so I don't know how much in silhouette I now am. So just continue at a nice 2k plus 20-ish pace, basically the same pace you were at the first time round on this interval, and just don't think about overdoing it. Don't go too hard. Remember, session 1 was really tough. I need to talk about it as though I've already done it. Session 3 will be really tough. So you need to use this row as a little recovery in between. Chance to work on technique, to flush your muscles, get your body moving, still have a good old workout, but not work out so hard that you are robbing yourself of fuel and power that you're going to need for session 3 of week 3. There's no point pushing a slow row fast, only to leave yourself doing a fast row slow. If you're looking for performance improvements, that's the wrong thing to do. If you're just out for a fun row, then okay. I mean, you could start today's row at 2k plus 15 and then go up to 12 for the 20s and 9 for the 22s and turn it into a monster of a workout. But that's not how it's planned within the 1K plan. The point is that these get you fit enough to last the race, and the fast ones get you fast enough to win the race. That's my audition to be a motivational speaker. Okay then, so I've only got a minute to go. Quick discussion about my dinner plans. I'm gonna finish this row, then it's sausage pasta tonight. Very simple, kids love it. Just chop up some sausages, a nice sauce made from Philadelphia garlic cream cheese and some English mustard, just a little bit. Maybe some Liam Perrins, a couple of drops of that. Pour it over some pasta. Ta-da, you're done. A little bit of garlic bread maybe. That'll refuel my energy stores, ready for tomorrow. And we're done. So there you go. So that was just a simple half hour. Nothing special about it at all. It was just getting the body moving. I slowed right down for the back end of that because, well, didn't need to go fast and I was protecting my side. Which the good news is, didn't come back to haunt me at all within today's row. So that's always good news when you have a little bit of a twinge of an injury, but then it doesn't come to anything. It's like a get out of jail free. Right, I'm just going to wash down the various things that ended up in my mouth. We'll get into a 2-minute cool down. Okay, you ready? Let's do this round about 20 strokes a minute, around about the same intensity you did the warm up at, okay? In 3, 2, 1, go. Now, I've said before, after rows like today's, that maybe you think, you know, I don't know if I need to cool down after a row like that. I'm not entirely, like, hot. And, yep, you're possibly right. However, it's important to get into the habit of cooling down. If you know that you've always got a little 2-minute at the end, just to let your muscles just ease, flush out any carbon dioxide still in your muscles and your blood and all that stuff. But it's more important to get in the habit so that if you've just done a really tough session, you know to do a cool down. So today, if you wandered off, probably wouldn't do no real ill effects. But if you do a complete maximum effort, everything's burning. Not only if you don't cool down, your heart rate basically just goes, goes from working flat out to nothing. Not nothing, that would be very bad. But if you can just slow that straight line from maximum to resting in a nice curve by doing a cool down, it's a lot healthier for you, for your heart and for your muscles. Means you're not leaving deoxygenated blood or anything in them, and that's how you get muscle soreness, and it's just worth it. Just consolidating your technique, continuing to move up and down. Right, one more stroke. Right, now usually I do a session where I stretch on the machine. However, today I'm just going to let Stretchy John do it, just because I want to stretch on my own so I can protect my side. So if you want to join in some stretching, Stretchy John is up there and he'll take you through some guided stretching. Yeah, you should be able to do that. You don't really have to find a mat. You can do most of them just by sitting on the machine anyway, so just follow him through some guided stuff or do whatever you need to do for you, because like I said, in my case, I have to very carefully make sure and just open out, maybe do some myofascial fascial release, where you just kind of help the muscle kind of just I get the feeling of whatever I did. It's nice. It's like a 737 going over the top. Not entirely sure. Yeah, I think so. Anyway, yeah, I think the muscles have just kind of like gnarled up on themselves, and I just need to kind of massage it out, stretch it a little bit, because it doesn't feel like it's pulled, it just feels like it just hit that twinge enough to stop. So that's why you stretch and things. So I would at this point say make sure and stretch at least your hamstrings or your quads if you're not going to do anything, but chances are those folks have already scurried off into into the distance anyway. But hopefully you've seen enough of my videos that you know the importance of doing some kind of stretching, okay? Whether it's what Stretchy John is doing or whether it's just a quick brief quads or hamstrings or something, it's entirely up to you, but trust me, just like a cool down, stretching is quite important and can help. So there we go, so that was week 3, session 3 of the 1K plan. Whether you did that as part of the 1K plan or whether it was just a standalone row that you did decide to do tonight, I hope you enjoyed it. That pyramid of stroke rates and the intensity just makes it a bit more interesting, to be honest, especially for one of these low intensity bottom tier rows. They can be a bit dull. If you just sit down for half an hour and row, it can be a bit dull, which is kind of the point of my videos, to be honest. It's just I'm here to keep you company, whether you listen to everything I say about technique or whatever, or whether I'm just white noise in your ear, or whether you don't even listen to me and you just watch me going backwards and forwards and match my stroke rate. I don't know, but if it gets you to get through a session, if you would get to the end of this session, you wouldn't normally, because it's usually you'd be like, oh, I'm not going to do that. But just by watching that buffoon going back and forwards on screen, it keeps you on the machine, my job's done. All right, if I can get you to row for longer, my job's done. Okay, obviously I'd like it if you had performance increases, if your technique improves and whatever as well by listening to me, that'd be even better. But if I can just get you to row for longer, that's all that matters. After all, you're just rowing along with me. This is kind of why I'm here. This all started off as kind of I just wanted to get more people on the machine, and then it became a little bit of rehab for me. Just as once I got injured, I needed a reason to carry on rowing, and so I thought, actually, let's just get on the machine and make these RowAlong videos, and it gives me a reason to keep on coming back. And then that got me through the injury, and now it's about trying to get performance increases. So I'm now training to go faster. And hopefully, although at the end of this 1K plan, I still won't quite be where I want to be. I'm in no rush. I'm doing all this high rocks training right now anyway, which is, although it involves a 1K row, it's not a maximum 1K row. I'm not going to sit there and do a eye bulging trying to hit like a 310 1K. I'm going to pace it for around about 340, 330 maybe, because there's still a lot more of a high rocks event to come after you've done your row. So that's kind of where, if I can by the end of this 1K plan, if I can get my 1K, like a standalone 1K, to kind of just under 320, I'd be happy, because then my first high rocks event is at the end of January. It's now September, beginning of September. So that gives me a long time to then try and improve and get fitter for being able to hold, because then what I want to do is just hold that 320, 330 1K in the race, but have it not destroy me, so I'm able to do the rest of it. So that's kind of where I am. But do let me know what your plans are. Are you even training for a 1K? Are you just doing this just as another useful little plan to do? Just a little diversion, just another reason to stay, give you something else to do in the rowing machine. Who knows? Leave me some kind of a comment either on the podcast or on the video, just to let me know, because I'm interested to see what's going on, and if I can be of any help at all, please just ask. I just help for free because, well, That's the kind of guy I am. I swear to say because I'm dull, but that's not fair. Just because I like to help. So there we go. Probably a shorter outro, shorter stretching session than normal, but that's okay. It wasn't too intense today, so hopefully if you need to do more stretching, please just kind of continue to do yourself once this video has ended. Now the flies are going for me, good grief, right? So I'm going to go and stop things attacking me. In fact, yeah, autumn air. Can that be the hashtag? Hashtag autumn air, because it definitely was today, even though beginning of September, is that still, are we still summer? Can't remember when the dates all change. So, yeah. Anyway, sorry. It sort of looks like summer, but it felt like autumn with all the stuff that's flying around. So, yeah, so hashtag autumn air if you want to leave one. And I will see you in another video. So please do check out some other ones, whether it's the 1K plan or anything else on this channel. Until then, in the next